So for my book, I chose Too Pickly by Jean Ridey, and I had technique 43, which was designing print to convey meaning. So before I start, I just want to give some examples of what this technique would mean. So this would mean that print is designed in ways for visually meaning effect. So for example, in a book called The Long Night Moon, there is a glow around each letter, making sure to represent that the letters are glowing just like the moon. And then also in the book I Stink, there is ripples that come off the letters to represent the way they smell or the odor that the letters might have. So this book has some examples kind of like those that I was just talking about. So the first example, it says too fishy. So if you look really closely at these letters, the illustrator has put fish scales on them to represent the fishiness of the fish. And the second example is too stringy. So the child is talking about spaghetti, and they put spaghetti on the word stringy to represent how stringy the spaghetti is. The third example is too sticky. So he's talking about how his rice is too sticky. And if you look closely at the letters, there's like little grains of rice in them to represent the sticky rice. Then the next example, it says too freezy. So he's talking about how cold his food is that he got. And if you look on the letters, there's like some ice on top of them to represent how cold they are. And the last example that I have says P-U-E. So it says how stinky it is. So like the example I talked about in the book I Stink, this also has little ripples or like stink kind of smells coming off of the word P-U-E to represent how it smells. So this is really good for children because they can figure out how the print works, and they are usually visually interested in the illustration, and this helps them understand what the words mean. So if there's an illustration by the word, then they can kind of understand what the word would mean while they read. And that is technique 43.